What's up, Astro fam? Hope you guys are having a great day today. Happy Wednesday. I'm super excited to be back. I'm sorry that I am a day late on my video posting. Had a long weekend, and so kind of got a little bit behind on making my video and some of my content. But we're here, we're ready to go, and we are going to dive. Oh my God. My singing sucks, but we're going to dive back into our nice little series on each zodiac sign, and we are going to get going. So today we are going to talk about the lovely Taurus. So your Taurus is anyone who's born from April 20th to May 20th. Your symbol for a Taurus is the bull. And if you remember kind of back into those first few videos that we talked about some of the qualities of our zodiac signs, a Taurus is a fixed sign and a earth sign. So for fixed, it means that they're persistent, they're very slow moving, they can be stubborn, and they can also be very unreasonable in the way that they think about things. As for the earth part of their quality of their sign, they're very grounded, they're very down to earth, they're extremely loyal, and they're extremely reliable, which I'm super excited to talk about in this video. So I have a feminine quality, which means they're very receptive, they're very passive in the way that they react to day-to-day happenings. So each planet has a zodiac sign in which it rules, and so for our friends who are Tauruses, the planet that rules them is Venus, which is the planet of love. So there's a high vibe and a low vibe to each planet and to each sign. And so for the planet of love, for Venus, for a Taurus, the high vibe goes as follows. So they're going to crave comfort, they're going to crave security in their love, and they're going to seek a partner who is going to make them feel that every step of the way. A Taurus is very affectionate on their high vibe, they are very romantic, they're extremely loyal, and they're a great rock to lean on. They're always going to be that person who's going to be looking to give comfort to their partner, give comfort to their friends, give comfort to their family, because that's just the way a Taurus is. On their low vibe, however, they can be very possessive, and they have the tendency to become jealous, controlling, and that's kind of like the downfall to their part of their love that they like to give, is that with that sense of control and the sense of jealousy, it can actually cause a lot of issues inside their relationships because of the way that they persist in their feelings of love for their partner as well. So if you know a Taurus or you're dating a Taurus, then that person may constantly be blowing up your phone all day and night, and they just may really be wanting your attention most of the time, because that's what a Taurus is. Okay, so we've talked about Taurus, we've talked about what makes you a Taurus, like as in your birthday. We talked about the symbol of a Taurus, which is the bull, and then we talked about some of the qualities of a Taurus just really quickly, and we also talked about the planet. Let's kind of go back into what exactly a Taurus is, so some of its personality traits. So Tauruses love to take their time. They're definitely not a person who's going to be rushing to find the solution to a problem right away. They're going to be the person that kind of sits back, they're going to take everything in. You may seem like they are a little bit distant to some of your communications, because they're going to be so focused in on what's around them. And so, I think like for the Tauruses I know, like one in particular, like I'll literally be having a conversation and like I'd be talking and trying to continue the conversation, like next thing you know, it's like, and I'm like, hello, like, are you there? And, it's really just because like they're taking everything in, they're trying to really digress and think about everything that's around them so that they can get a clear picture on it, and that way they can find like the right things to say at the right exact time, because Tauruses love to say the right things all the time. If you are a Taurus, you probably don't find yourself in a rush very often. You're probably a procrastinator, and you probably feel like you enjoy the journey. You're all about how did you get from point A to point B, not what point B looks like, because you're going to get to point B eventually. But as for a Taurus, they're going to take their time, they're going to divert along their way on that path, and they're going to find new things, they're going to meet new people, they're going to learn new things, and they're going to try to grow themselves into a new level and a new personality along the way. Tauruses are very practical, so they're not a person that's going to have like this false mindset of like what their life is, what's going on in the world. They're going to look for a more logical path, and they're going to stick to it until they can get to the end of it. They're all about comfort and security. So for Tauruses, they're very materialistic. They love the good life. They're all about material possessions, and it's actually kind of what drives them to be successful. So you may think of a Taurus, if you know a Taurus, they're always going to talk about that fancy car that they want, or that big house that they want, or that successful career that they're just working so hard for, because that is everything that a Taurus can think. Because if you think about it, it's a long process, right? It's not just I'm going to wake up today and by tomorrow I'm going to have this. It's a long process, and there's a lot of steps in between, and Tauruses love long processes. So they're going to really envy those type of environments and that type of future. If you know Taurus, or you are Taurus, you are very creative. You love taking in everything, as I kind of talked about before. You kind of look for the beauty in everything. You're going to be very interested in art. You're going to be interested in music, and you're going to be interested in drawing as well. You may not be very good at it, but you are definitely going to be into drawing and art of some type. Tauruses are very steady, so meaning that they're reliable people, and they love to have people lean on them. So Tauruses in general will just always try to look for that person who they can be a rock for, because they want to have your problems put onto them so that they can feel like, they're using their good for somebody else. Because the Taurus really never tries to make themselves feel better. Instead, they try to find a way to make you feel better in the process, which helps them feel better. It's very reciprocal. It's not a one-way street with a Taurus. It's definitely a two-way street. I talked about a lot of positives with our Taurus, but there of course are some negatives, which I've already reached on a little bit. So they're very possessive, they're dependent, they can be lazy, and of course they're very stubborn. So possessive, meaning that they're very possessive over the people in their life, also materials, and just in general, like the things that they have in their life. They're very dependent, so they may claim that they try to come off more independent than they actually are, whereas the Taurus is very independent. There are times where they can be extremely dependent on somebody else, especially their partner. Once they feel that they can get to a comfortable level with them, they become very dependent on their love, and they're constant reminders of that satisfaction that their love gives to them. And lazy. If you know a Taurus, you may, or you are a Taurus, you may find yourself often canceling your plans just to simply lay in bed because you really don't feel like going out. So if you're a Taurus, who knows, maybe you're watching this video because you have nothing else to do and you want to lay in bed and be lazy. So if so, great. And then stubborn, of course, it kind of goes back to their love and their feelings of jealousy and the way that they think. Just because it's such a long process for them, it really is just trying to figure out, the right steps for everything. So they're pretty stubborn when it comes to changing their mindset or changing plans. Kind of like a special thing for a Taurus is that they definitely do not like changing plans. So if you are going out with a Taurus, and you say we're going to go to X, Y, and Z, and in their mindset, they are going to X, Y, and Z. They're not going to X, Z, and Y. They take that X, Y, Z path very seriously. And if you change a path or you change a schedule on a Taurus, they can become very unsettled, and they become very stubborn and say, no, you said X, Y, Z, so we're going to go to X, Y, Z, or I'm just going to go back home and go to bed. Because that's definitely something that a Taurus would do. A little bit about compatibility for your Tauruses. So if you're a Taurus, you're compatible with a Cancer, Capricorn, Virgo, and a Pisces. As for Cancer, you guys have a very similar personality. Capricorn, you are great sex partners. And for Virgo, you have a very high work ethic, both of you guys. And for Pisces, you both want to start a family. So last thing I forgot was that if you are a Taurus, the part of your body that is ruled is your throat. So You can be very sensitive. You need to be cautious of throat infections, so you may get strep throat a lot. You may have a lot of sore throats. You may kind of get a lot of colds. You are also very prone to asthma, and you often tend to indulge in very unhealthy food and drink. So if you are a Taurus, just be conscientious of it. Make sure you're constantly getting checked up on your throat. If you have a sore throat, get it checked out, or take some medicine, because that is part of your sign. And yeah, if you guys have any questions on what a Taurus is, or really just in general, what a Taurus does on a day-to-day basis, I'd love to answer it for you. Like I said, Tauruses are one of my favorite. I have a lot of Tauruses in my life, and they're just a sign that I really seem to get along with. And I think that it's because they're so brutally honest in the way that they do things. And I think that a Taurus just, I don't know, they're just so interesting in the way they do things, and they're funny, and they're holistic in the way that they behave, and it's just very straightforward with the Taurus. So when you have a good Taurus in your life, definitely keep them around, because some point in your life you're going to need to lean on somebody, and that Taurus is that person. So if you have a Taurus in your life, tell them that you love them, tell them that you're thankful for them, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, comment below. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, because we're going to continue along this series and talking about all of our zodiac signs, and then eventually, once we get through everything, we'll maybe go into the planets or the houses, and really just whatever you guys want to learn about. We're learning together, so if there's anything that you think I could add to this video or add to my future videos, please let me know. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and peace. Bye, Astro fam.